Today we are honored to have Srinivas with us. In today's podcast, we will cover net zero energy building.
Net zero energy building has gained its popularity in the last 2 years. We worked on the green building concept for the last 25 years.
What is the larger approach in achieving net zero energy?
Address the active measures and the passive measures of, for a state like Maharashtra, it's very progressive. Karnataka is progressive.
Today we are honored to have Srinivas with us. Srinivas super noted from the Confederation of Indian Industry, CII, as Principal Advisor in 2022. After an illustrious career spanning 39 years in green buildings, green built environment and energy efficiency, as the head of CII's Green Building Division for 25 years, he pioneered the green building movement in India and played a key role in establishing the Indian Green Building Council. With a background in mechanical engineer and energy management, his vast experience and contributions have made a significant impact in India and abroad. In today's podcast, we will cover net zero energy building. Very good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
We are very pleased and honored to have you with us, sir.
Thank you, and it's my privilege.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, my first question to you and from every one of us is, what exactly is net zero energy building?
See, net zero energy building has gained its popularity in the last 2 years. So we worked on the green building concept for the last 25 years. And throughout the world, people are talking about net zero. So what do net zero buildings exactly mean? See, net zero buildings are buildings where you improve the energy efficiency of the buildings, reduce your cost, and subsequent to implementing energy efficiency features, superimpose the renewable energy component. See, otherwise, a building cannot be called as net zero by brute implementation of renewable energy. First, make it energy efficient. Bring down the required contract demand from 10 megawatts per million square feet to about 7 megawatts per million square feet. And then apply your renewable energy so that it becomes a true energy efficient and a net zero energy building also.
So, sir, a very connected question to it. What is the larger approach in achieving net zero energy?
Yeah, that's a very good question. See, the larger approach is to first address the active measures and the passive measures of achieving energy efficiency of the building. Now, by passive measures, we mean the orientation of the building, applying insulation on the walls of the building, insulating your roof. Because if you do a thermal balance of a building, almost about 60 to 70% of the heat energy comes through the walls and they come through the roof also. So how do we address by design the heat not coming into the building? So that is what we mean by the passive measures. So these can be achieved by factors like orientation and then insulation. So insulation materials are many. There are many available in the market today, including glass wool. You got PVC, you got extended polystyrene, extruded polystyrene. So a variety of materials are there through which you can insulate the buildings and reduce the overall heat transfer coefficient of the envelope. And thereby, you can reduce the energy demand of the building itself. And the active measures include equipments like chillers, both on the high-end side, that is your compressors, and as on the low-end side in terms of your AHUs, fans, pumps, chill water pumps, condenser water pumps, cooling towers. How do we apply latest technology in terms of variable speed drives to these equipments so that they become more energy efficient? How do you select a motor which is efficient? How do you select a pump which is more efficient? Because there are technologies today where pumps can give efficiency as 90%. These are called the double casing pumps. Whereas earlier, if you had asked me 20 years back, the efficiency of pumps were about 75%. But today, technology has improved vastly actually. So both the active measures and the passive measures have to be addressed first, and then install solar PVs and call it as a net zero energy building. Now, there are class of people today who just apply renewable energy, brute application of renewable energy. They call it as a net zero building, which may not sound very good for a true professional. So, therefore, what we propagate is first make the building energy efficient on all aspects, and then apply renewable energy.
So now, just to connect one more thing to this particular topic talking on, from a layman's point of view, when we talk about any topic, we look at the benefits.
Yes.
So what are the tangible and intangible benefits from this very topic of net zero buildings?
Net zero buildings. Yeah, net zero buildings, see, at the outset, it will reduce your contract demand
Okay.
by almost 30%. 30 to 40%, it can reduce the contract demand. And therefore,
If you can elaborate a little more on the contract demand.
contract demand. Contract demand is the maximum demand that a building will need at any point of time. So typically, you pay for the contract demand to the utilities also. So, what is the contract demand that I installed will be based on the connected load of the building.
Oh.
What is the connected load of the building? And you take the power factor, and then we arrive at the contract demand. So, so you can reduce your connected load and contract demand. That is one of the benefits of net zero buildings. The second thing is you are contributing immensely to the environment. See,
This is very important.
Yes, on days when you don't need energy, you can export the power to the grid.
Wow.
See, so that is what we call it as net metering. That means on some days you can get from the grid, on some days you can give it away to the grid. So by giving it away to the grid, you stand to gain in terms of the utilities, not generating power through fossil routes. See, generating power through fossil fuels have got a great impact on the environment.
Absolutely.
See, today globally we emit almost about 40 billion tons of CO2 into the atmosphere, and there is no technology.
It's a major concern today.
Yes, absolutely, and there's no technology to retract it. See, in my own lifetime, I have seen the average CO2 level in the environment going up from 320 ppm to almost 400 ppm. And this is very dangerous for our children and our children and their children also. If your environment doesn't have enough oxygen, if it contains only CO2, imagine what they will be breathing actually. Therefore, so reducing the CO2 emission is another big benefit.
This is what has been happening in many cities.
Absolutely. So reducing the CO2 emissions is one big benefit. You also get the cost benefits. Cost benefits because, see, there are states where when you take the power from the grid, suppose they give you a 10 rupees per unit.
Yes.
When you give the power to the grid, they also pay you 10 rupees.
Yes.
That is called as net metering. But unfortunately, some states are resorting to what is called the gross metering, where when I give power to the grid, I am paid only 2 rupees. But when I pay from when I take from the grid, I am asked to pay 10 rupees.
10 rupees, yes.
So we are battling for that actually as the stakeholders. We are battling for that. But then I think slowly, see, that has come largely because of people are now feel threatened now. See, people in Genco or somebody may feel, oh, I'm going to lose my job. It's not so actually. So we need to make them understand that because of this, some new opportunities will also emerge for you. It's not that this is the end of the world.
Yes, very true. So next question is, what are the impediments in buildings embracing net zero energy buildings, and how do we address them?
Yeah. Hey, see, the impediments today, if you ask me, basically with regard to policies. See, some of the states, they are highly prone to encouraging net zero buildings. But some of the states are still not so progressive. For a state like Maharashtra, it's very progressive. But some of the states, Karnataka is progressive. There are states which are not so progressive. Because if I put solar energy in my building, they are asking me to increase my contract demand. So I need to pay for the contract demand charges month after month. So there will be some fixed cost for that. And there's a variable cost also depending on the power that you consume. Therefore, when I do a cost benefit analysis because of the increase in contract demand and the investments that I have done on the solar, the payback is almost coming to 12 to 15 years. So how do we bring it down to 5 years or 4 years? That is the challenge that we have got. So
That is the major challenge.
it's a challenge.
It should be in couple of years you
should get back your money.
Get back the money.
So I think unless the state governments wake up to the reality that yes, we need to change, we need to encourage this solar energy and see that I don't ask for increase in the contract demand number one, and I also don't put a cap in terms of what is the in situ renewable solar PV that I can install in any building. See, right now there is a cap. Based on your contract demand, they say if your contract demand is 100 kVA, they said okay, you can put 120 kVA on the solar on the top. But if I put 120 kVA, it will not suffice because the PLF of solar generation is very low. It's about 22%. So if I put 100 kilowatts, I don't get 100 kilowatts. I get only 22 kilowatts. It's not like your fossil fuel because here the plant load factor is low. Because solar is available only for 4 hours effectively.
Yes.
Therefore, I think this has to be addressed by the policy makers, especially the state electricity regulatory commissions, the Ministry of Power, and people have to be progressive in their thinking. Otherwise, it will be an issue not today, but maybe after 10 years.
So maybe you want to say that only these are the enablers or the encouraging point for anybody who want to work on a net zero energy building.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Otherwise, I can simply gun it down. Suppose you come and make a presentation on solar, I can simply.
But how cost effective it is?
Cost effective, it is very cost effective today. See, when we installed in our building in Hyderabad, we purchased about 3 lakhs per kilowatt. Okay. But today solar PVs are available at 50,000 rupees per kilowatt.
Oh,
because of the increase in demand.
So technically, in practicality, it has gone down.
Yeah, it has gone down by almost 85%.
Wow.
Or even more, I think.
So in a way, the government or the entire country is saying that go into net zero energy. And this is going to be the future thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because I don't think we have got enough. See, today all the oil that you and I burn in our vehicles is imported. 90%, 95% of the oil that we use for vehicles is imported.
Yes.
So it can't go on like this forever. So unless and that too being a tropical country, I think we are ideally positioned to tap into solar energy and reap the benefits.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, we expect and we pray that we meet again and we continue our topic on net zero energy buildings. And also we would want you to be with us for the next podcast so that we talk more on this and make people aware and how do we do it. This time we've spoken on a very larger aspect. The next time we can speak on much more, constructive and particular topics that people can really implement it.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We are very pleased to have you with us.
It's my privilege. Thank you.
Thanks.